Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Tri-County Logging. Experienced in sustainable forestry practices, Tri-County Logging can help you manage your property by keeping your woods healthy and generate income. Serving southern and mid-Michigan for nearly 50 years, TriCountyLogging.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
Hi everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Silik and we've got an exciting all-new show in store for you this week. We're going to take a look at those dog training tips that we started a couple of weeks back. This week it's all about what you can be doing with your sporting dog between 6 months and 12 months old. You won't want to miss that. And Jimmy and Jordan have some other adventures in store for us this week.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a few more things on this week's show. We're actually going to kick things off in the Upland woods. I was recently able to get out with two couples to do some bird hunting and experience one of the most gourmet lunches you're ever going to find in the outdoor world. We're also going to sit down with some conservation groups here in the state of Michigan and learn what they're doing to band together to make sure that the sportsman's voice is heard here in the great state of Michigan. So much good stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream. It's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988. Offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By Alta Equipment Company, providing sales, rentals, service, and parts because uptime matters. From earth moving to landscaping and light construction, Alta offers over 50 brands across 7 Michigan locations to serve you. More information online or 844-GO-2-ALTA.
WorkingPerson.com. From the factory floor to the job site and into the field. WorkingPerson.com supplies work boots and shoes, workwear, safety gear, and more for individuals or outfitting your whole team. Learn more at WorkingPerson.com.
DTE believes to lead, we have to do what's right. So we're tripling renewables and cutting carbon emissions in half over the next 10 years. DTE.
This is Callie.
A week or so back found me in Kalkaska County with two couples hitting the Upland woods. Ben Ettinger had told me about this hunt and the dinner that was planned for later in the day, so with high hopes, we hit the cover. Not long into our hunt, Callie, the little Brittany, was on point. Now the issue was, with some leaf cover still on the trees, would we get a clean shot? There it is. Hey!
No birds. Here.
Okay, you got it. What do you got there, young man?
And a nice little woodcock.
Boy.
Good job, Callie.
Good shot.
Can see them this week.
Well, those Brittany's, they can find birds?
They can. Contrary to popular opinion. My buddies all call them weasels. Oh, she's pointing.
She's down again.
Liv, move up.
Careful that other dog. The dogs were handling nicely, and we moved along through some rain most of the morning. But the weather was not that big of a deal when you're working your way to a point. And as the cameraman, well, I can make for a pretty good flushing dog.
There it is. Bird. Did you get it?
Yeah, she did.
Hey!
There we come. Oh, good girl.
Hey!
Was this Jake's? Kate's.
Kate, the Deadeye.
Me with my timberdoodle. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Look at that. Yeah, it looks good, huh?
Nice shooting.
Woo! That's good. That's fun.
Well, the ladies were on the board, and as we moved along, I had Ben tell us a little bit about how he got into upland hunting.
Doing pretty well. We've heard a couple grouse.
Yeah.
Got, I believe, 2 woodcock in the bag and a few that got away safely.
Nice. Well, how did you get into upland bird hunting?
I did some of it as a kid with my dad behind Labradors. Had a lot of fun. Then grew up and went to college and didn't do much of it. And then living in California, had a friend with a Brittany, got me back into it.
Huh.
And after I got married, we got our first bird dog about 12 years ago, and we've just been getting deeper and deeper into it since.
Nice. And tell me what's happening later today.
We have the gentleman from the Upland Experience making a lunch for us that I've heard is going to be fantastic.
And how did you get that thing?
I won an online auction as part of the Rough Grouse Society last spring. They do an auction each year for 1 or 2 of these meals, and that's the only way it's available is through this auction.
Nice. And who you got joining you and your wife today?
My wife Lydia is with us, and then another couple we've been hunting with the last year or two, Jake and Kate, from down in Kalamazoo, and their 2-year-old dog Bay.
And I heard you were responsible for them getting a dog?
It sounds like it. I took them out on a game farm a couple times, and then all of a sudden they bought a dog, so I think they had fun.
And they're hooked.
So with mostly soaked clothes, we opted for the nearby cabin and the fancy meal that awaited us. The Michigan Upland Experience is something I have witnessed a few years back, and when they said they had another one planned, well, what were the odds I was hunting with the folks who actually got the dinner?
Well, this is the first field lunch of our season at the Michigan Upland Experience. This is a 3-course gourmet over the fire and over the Blackstone meal that we're doing. This one went to support Habitat. We auctioned it off on our Facebook page. The winning bid, then the money went to RGS spearheaded woodcock habitat upgrade over in the southeast of Michigan. And the good news is the money we put in, which was 100% of the proceeds, was joined with a bunch of other money. The habitat grant that we applied for, the group applied for, was granted. And so now we have over $50,000 into habitat for southeast Michigan woodcock. And it's a good spot for it. It's one of those spots where Michigan does well with habitat, but you get down toward that southern border, it's like the last great rest stop before a long journey. And that's what we did here. So this is going to be Scotch eggs. We have filet mignon and vegetables, roast potatoes, and we're going to end with a raisin cream and a cinnamon cherry pie. Right here on the water, we have the glassware, the tableware set, and it's going to be an exciting evening.
The first course was on the plate, a Scotch egg. I'd never heard of it, but I need more of them in my life. It was fun to hear how Ben got both Kate and Jake into hunting.
I wanted to go hunting and Kate wanted to go hunting, so we decided let's go and get our hunter safety scores. Okay. So we get the hunter safety scores and they come out with a ribbon. So I decided to cut them all out and put them on our work cubicles. And Ben comes over and he's like, "Oh, you guys hunt?" And no. He's like, "Well, you guys want to learn?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's the goal."
Yep, we'll go.
So he's like, "Well, come out with me and my dogs." And we're like, "Oh, this guy hunts with dogs. This sounds really cool." So Ben brings us out and he has his dogs and we're like hooked. We're like, this is the coolest thing. Because we're talking, we thought we were going to like freeze the whole time. We're talking, having a great time. And like these dogs are pointing
It was a cool.
birds.
It was really cool.
We just thought it was the coolest thing. So it was our hobby, right? So she had her hobbies and I had mine, and we were like, well, let's find something that we could both do.
Awesome.
And then we got a dog out of it.
Very attentive and
And you
affectionate dog.
got to blame Ben.
Yep,
Yes.
absolutely. It's 100% Ben's fault.
The meal was awesome, the company great, the cause important. It's as good of a day as you can have chasing bird dogs and telling lies. Thanks for letting me tag along on a perfect day here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
In our dog training series with dog trainer Mark June, we've already taken a look at how you can pick out a good sporting dog puppy, what to do with that puppy once you get it home to get it ready for the field. This week, we're going to check out what to do with your dog between 6 months and 12 months old.
Well, Jenny, we're here today. This is Anthony Peters and his dog Riggs. He's just 11 months old. He's really just shining in what he's doing, and he's to the point where we're shooting birds over him and everything else. We're going to the next level. The next level is we want him to start retrieving birds. We want him to start holding points and everything else, and kind of fine-tuning everything. We're kind of going from the stage of a puppy to an adult dog. And at this point, we'll show him like how he's been working him on. Perfect, Anthony. Make him stay there. Now use your dummy, show him how we're showing the hold part. As you can see here, guys, the dog is starting to bond with Anthony. He's looking for what's the next command, what he should be doing. They're starting to form that teamwork part. The teamwork part is when you have a dog and a trainer or an owner working together, that's when you take the dog to the next level. There you go, Anthony. Go back, put it into him. Now stay there this time and make him hold it, and then take it from him. Act like you're going to take it from him and not take it from him. Okay? Stay there in front of him. Yep. Keep holding. Rub his head. Yep. All in a nice tone here, because he's doing everything right. You know. There you go. Then I'll tell him give. Why we was doing that is because everybody they're all wound up because they just killed a bird. They want to get to the next bird. They're so excited. We want the dog to slow down, have some patience. Just from a safety standpoint, me guiding 39 years, everybody's in a hurry. Slow down. The safety part comes into play. His biggest thing is he wants to get the bird, and then he wants to get going to the next one and the next one and the next one, right? So we're trying to slow him down a little bit and be more patient. Now we transfer from the dummy to the bird, because these are feathers. Yeah, some dogs are used to the dummy, and then they go to the birds, and it's a whole new deal. So now we're going to transfer the bird to the dummy. Here you go, Anthony. Put it in there, crush the bottom of his mouth, kind of have him hold it there. Pet his head with the other hand. Now you can take it, Anthony. Yep, that was your fault. Pet him again. Pet him again. Kind of get his mind off of it. Come back around. Come back around. Before you put the bird in his mouth, pet him this time. Okay, now put it and say hold. Jenny, this dog a week ago, as big as he was, wouldn't even want to put a quail in his mouth. He would chase them, point them, unbelievable. Do a great job. But when he got to the final prey, he didn't want to pick it up. He didn't want to finish the deal, right? So now we started doing this. This is about 10 days deep into it. So at 10 days, you should approximately be able to have him hold a dummy. What I would say on this kind of obedience work, I'd rather see somebody do it 2 or 3 times a day for 5 minutes is all you need. 15 minutes of your life every day before you go to work, maybe when you come home from work and before you go to bed. Well, Jenny, we're talking today. We've been working Riggs and Anthony. We've been kind of a little hard on the dog. We've been kind of teaching them all the stuff with the collar and the obedience, holding, and everything else. We're trying to transfer the hold part out in the field today, but we got to give them a fun moment to kind of break and loosen them up a little bit. This part here, Jenny, we're just trying to let them have some fun. See, Jenny, this is where we have Riggs on point on a bird, and it's transfer the part of using wool. This is what we trained the dog for, is the wool part. at this point, we kind of be really nice to them. If we can go up there and caress them, tell them good boy. Whoa. Everything's always in a nice, soft tone of voice. Nothing loud, nothing abrasive, just whoa, good boy. You can tell he's a very stylish German Short for 11 months old. I'm truly impressed with him. Whoa. As he gets older, you know, we can do more with the collar part. We don't want to do that right now. We don't want to jeopardize that part. He's settled into a nice point. Let him relax. Then it's where you hold your hand up. That's where when you start the whoa part. We were going to talk about that in the other segments we did. Whoa. At this point, let him do his thing. We're hoping that the field work in the yard that we did will transfer to it. Always give the dog an opportunity to retrieve. Too many people are so zealous about running out there that they don't even give the dog to retrieve. Good boy. Good boy. He picked it up now, which is a plus. Before when he was younger, he didn't want to. And he picked it up. Now we want to walk back a little bit. Come on, Riggs. Come on, Riggs. He retrieves balls, toys, everything else in the house. He already does perfect. It's just in the field. And we think it's just a maturity part, and he's going to come over it. That's what we're hoping for. At this point, Jenny, I mean, with him being 11 months old, we don't want to be too hard on him. We still want him to enjoy the day in the field. Good boy. Maybe what I would do at this point, if I was, you know, having a situation, tell him to hold it, pat him up. He's enjoying. Today is his fun day. You know, we've been working him hard in the thing, and it'll all transfer. People will be shocked at how this does, but we have to remember these are animals. They have their own mind. They're not a computer. It's not like you program them and say, okay, you're going to do this, and boom, 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 they do it. That's what separates the trainers and stuff. Hey. Hey. Here, good boy. Good boy, come on. At this point, he's kind of shunning me from it, so I don't want to force it on him anymore, and I want to still have him have a happy time with it. I anticipate with this dog it's just a little bit of an immaturity factor. 11 months old, I mean, big body, big kid, you know, just he's going into 3rd grade, right? He's just excited.
At the end of the day, sporting dogs and their owners just want to have a fun and successful day in the field. With some consistent training and the right tools, both hunter and dog can achieve those goals. In our next dog training tip, Mark will show us how to keep waterfall dogs conditioned and ready for the next hunt here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Well, what we're going to do right now is something just a little bit different. We're going to talk about climate change. Now, when you use the word climate change, that can generate a lot of emotions for people. What we're referring to as climate change is really just the change in the weather over the last 10 to 20 years. Wasn't that long ago. We never really saw 80-degree days in October. Now we see a lot of them, and the Great Lakes are at an all-time high. So we recently sat down with MUCC, Trout Unlimited, Ducks Unlimited, the National Wildlife Federation, as well as a few other groups to see what they're doing to kind of band together to make sure that the sportsman's voice is heard when the idea of climate change is being discussed here in the great state of Michigan.
We have 1.1 million anglers, 700,000 hunters in our state, and our combined economic impact is $11.2 billion a year. So we know that we create and sustain about 170,000 jobs in our state, and we need to do the best that we can to advocate for funding and action to address and mitigate the impacts of wildlife disease, invasive species, and a warming climate. Bringing hunters and anglers together to the table with policymakers from both sides of the aisle is the critical first step in addressing the changing seasons.
Deer are important to the whole state of Michigan, both economically and culturally, and particularly the northern part of the state. In the northern part of Michigan, we are seeing some severe impacts on our deer population due to climate change, And those impacts are appearance of polar vortexes in the winter period, much deeper snows, and extended winter periods. In southern lower Michigan, the dry periods that have been brought on by climate change give rise to mud flats that encourage insects that carry episodic hemorrhagic disease to deer, EHD. That also is a catastrophic event that usually results in large losses of deer.
I've fished Lake Michigan for nearly 50 years, 38 as a charter boat operator, and I've noticed that the weather seems to be more extreme. If not seems to be, it is. And especially the last several years has seen more of a dramatic change with higher waves, more cancellations, stronger winds, constantly shifting thermoclines, constantly shifting current, and it all makes it difficult to be consistent fishing.
It's important for us to remember that the ecosystem, as we always knew it, had evolved over thousands of years. With climate change, we're seeing rapid changes over the span of only individual years. This changes waterfowl behaviors, it changes how they migrate, when they migrate, but it also affects their habitats. What we see primarily in the habitat is more intense and more frequent storms. That means more flooding or more intense droughts, and we can see an intense loss of habitat. This has not only impacts to the waterfowl specifically, maybe there's not enough habitat to support the populations, but it also can impact the economics. There's a lot of towns that are built around hunting and fishing communities, and if the ducks aren't there anymore, the hunters aren't there.
Trout and salmon are referred to as cold water fish, and that's because they require cold oxygenated water to survive and to thrive. In that sense, they're often referred to as a canary in the coal mine for climate change, because with generally warming conditions, they face the biggest struggles in the future. Some of the ways that we're already seeing climate change take effect on trout and salmon populations in Michigan is through increased severity, frequency, and variability of weather conditions. So how much water is flowing in the river at what time of the year is really critical to river habitat. Spring floods can cause losses of year classes. More frequent hot summer events can cause mortality of all ages of trout and salmon in a river. So we're seeing these effects already come to fruition.
Upland game bird species are absolutely being impacted by the effects of climate change here in Michigan. Our ruffed grouse are moving further north, and when they do that, they don't find the critical habitat they need. We have been experiencing more volatile weather events that's impacting their nesting success, and we have had an explosion of insects that are also carrying diseases to these species. On the pheasant side, we know that our farming practices over time have degraded the habitat, but we also know that these same volatile weather events are also impacting our pheasant populations.
Addressing these challenges will require wise investments in both habitat restoration and natural infrastructure. As Michigan moves towards cleaner energy solutions like wind and solar, care must be taken to ensure we protect fish, wildlife, and access to public lands and waters. Hunters and anglers and all people who enjoy outdoor recreation span all political boundaries and socioeconomic classes and hold a wealth of knowledge and experience. This creates a path to consensus addressing climate-induced changes. The fish and wildlife we all enjoy, whether fishing, hunting, or simply watching, need solutions. A coalition of conservation groups, including MUCC and the National Wildlife Federation, have formed the Changing Seasons Work Group that is working towards addressing the impacts of climate change in Michigan and what steps can be taken to mitigate its impact on fish and wildlife. Protecting clean water, maintaining access to public lands, and making science-based decisions on wildlife and forestry management are the main priorities. New investments and incentives are needed to address the ongoing effects of climate change.
So here in Michigan, we enjoy world-class hunting and fishing and outdoor recreation opportunities. However, that quality of life is at risk due to climate change. Right now, Michigan is facing several impacts from climate change. That's why we created the Changing Seasons Work Group, which really is about pulling ourselves together, uniting our organizations and under one voice and advocating for policies that are more protective of fish and game. We know this is important because we want to pass on our hunting and fishing traditions to our kids, their kids, and future generations. That's what Changing Seasons is all about. That's what's at stake, and that's what Changing Seasons is trying to protect.
Thanks so much for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you stay tuned in upcoming weeks. It's a great time to be in the outdoors here in our state. We'll be bringing you some fall fishing and, of course, some more archery deer hunting. If you'd like to see where we are and where we're headed next, you can always check us out online.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Online, always a good way to kind of keep tabs on us. Our website has full episodes of the show there every week. We're also on most of the social media sites as well as YouTube if you want to check us out there, and make sure that you are joining us over the next several weeks. So much good stuff happening around the state of Michigan. Get out and enjoy it. And if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by.
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
By Greenmark Equipment. Greenmark Equipment is a John Deere dealership network in southwest Michigan and northern Indiana. Greenmark provides sales and services to farmers, commercial businesses, large property owners, and homeowners. Information about pricing and products available can be found online at greenmarkequipment.com.
By G5 Outdoors, makers of the Quest and Prime bows. Manufactured and designed in Memphis, Michigan, G5 offers a line of archery bows, broadheads, and accessories on the web at g5outdoors.com. By Jay's Sporting Goods, with locations in Clare and Gaylord. Jay's has been serving the Michigan outdoor enthusiast since 1971 with a wide variety of outdoor products. The gear, the knowledge, the tradition of Jay's on the web at jaysportinggoods.com. Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hand.